Right, now that you're an expert at greatest common factor, we're going to teach you lowest common multiple. Difference between a factor and a multiple is factors are numbers that can fit into a number, like numbers that can be times to get to 10 would be 2 and 5, 1 and 10. Those are factors. Multiples of 10 are what are on the 10 times table, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So when we say lowest common multiple, LCM, we're looking at what it can go into. Okay, so it's the same with the one underneath, 12. That would be the stuff on the 12 times table, 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, 84. So if we were to say, what is the lowest common multiple? Lowest common multiple of these two, 10 and 12, it would be the number that they share that is the lowest. They don't share anything until we get to 60. You can see they share 60. So you see that 60 would be the lowest common multiple that they can both go into on their times tables. That's what a lowest common multiple is. Now we're going to look at how to work that one out. Right, so what we have to do first is a factor tree. So we're going to put 10 into a ladder. We can actually use a ladder. Well, let's do a factor tree for one and a ladder for the other. So let's do 10. We're going to put 2 in there. 2 goes in there 5 times, and 5 in there. 5 goes in there once. So the factors of 10 are 2. You first got to bring them down to their prime factors. And then 12, let's use a factor tree. We can say 6 and 2. 2 is already a prime. 3 and 2. Okay, so 12 is equal to 2 times 2 times 3. Now the way that we work out lowest common multiple is slightly different to the way we worked out greatest common factor. We're still going to match. You can say fine, 2, and then times, you're going to count this 2 only once. 2 over here, you're going to use all of them, times 3 times 5. Okay, and that's going to be equal to 2 times 2 is 4, times 3 is 12, times 5 is equal to 60. So you see we came to the same answer that was up here. Now you don't want to have to do this listing at the top every time for things. That's why we're teaching you the quick way to do this. Lowest common multiple. Another way of doing it is you don't have to group them together. I'll show you another way of doing it. In fact, it might be the more efficient way of doing it for you. Is you can say to yourself, who's got the most 2s? 10 or 12? 10's only got 1 and 12 has got 2. So we're going to list those 2 there because 12 wins that round. So we're going to say fine, 2 comes twice. Okay, the one who's got it the most is the one we list. And who's got the most 3s? 12 has got it because 10 hasn't got a 3, so we put our 3 in there. And who has the most 5s? 10 has got it, so it's up there. So the one who has the most 2s is listed. There they are, 2 and 2. The one who has the most 3s is listed. There it is. And the one who has the most 5s. There we go. So we can do it that way going forward, just to show you that that's how lowest common multiple works out. So let's quickly factor these two using the ladder method. So we're going to put 3 in here 5 times, 5 in there once. So 15. Its prime factors are 3 times 5. And then here we're going to go quickly, just factorize it. Okay, so 20 is equal to 2 times 2 times 5. Now our lowest common multiple, something that can both fit into. So who's got the most 2s? 20 has. There. So we're going to write 2 times 2. Who's got the most 5s? They each have a 5. And then who's got the most 3s? 15 has. So we're going to times 3. And then we're going to times by 5. Okay, they each have a 5. So it's going to be 2 times 2 is 4. Times 3 is 12. Times 5 is 60 again. Lowest common multiple is 60. Now you're going to do this one for me. You're going to press pause, write them down, factorize them, and work out what the lowest common multiple is, and then come back and I'll have a look at it with you. Okay, so I'll see you just now. You press your pause so long and go work it out. Okay, so you're back. Let's first factorize down to our prime factors. So 2 goes in there 3 times, 3 goes in there once, 2 goes in there 4 times, 2 goes in there 2 times, and 2 goes in there once. So let's write them out as a list. 6 in its prime factors is 2 times 3. 8 in its prime factors is 2 times 2 times 2. And who has got, we're going to quickly now work out who's got the most 2's. 8 has, so it's going to be 2 times 2 times 2. So we're going to write 2 times 2 times 2. And who's got the most 3's? 6 has, times 3. So our lowest common multiple is 2 times 2, which is 4, times 2, which is 8, times 3, which is equal to 24. Okay. So remember, we're looking for big numbers because they are numbers that the two numbers we're working with can go into on their times tables. That's what a lowest common multiple is. And you can get a good idea by doing it this way. Well done.